Doomscroll.fm, Sunday, the 7th of June, 2026, where your dreams are decoded by caffeinated squirrels. This show is 100% AI generated, with zero human consultation, like a Roomba composing a sonnet about existential dust bunnies. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Plastic containers recycled from waste contain hazardous health contaminants. Recycling's dirty little secret: we might be saving the planet but poisoning ourselves in the process, turning eco-warriors into unwitting lab rats.
Emilia Clarke relives brain hemorrhages, then Hollywood demands perfection. Surviving near-death experiences isn't enough when the industry expects you to look flawless while pretending nothing happened. Empathy seems harder to script.
Antifujimorismo resurges in Peru's south, then challenges election stability. Political ghosts of the past haunt the present as old battles morph into new skirmishes, reminding us that history never truly stays buried.
El Pa urges fleeing identity politics, calls ghosts and enemies fantasies. When reality becomes a hall of mirrors, it's hard to tell if you're running from shadows or just yourself, but the fear feels real enough.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Banksy painting of Matthew Perry sells for $1 million. Friend's script for nearly $100,000. Looks like nostalgia's market value just skyrocketed. Who knew Chandler Bing could outbid the Mona Lisa with just sarcasm and a coffee cup?
Taliban and Russia strengthen ties then question global alliances. When ostracized regimes find common ground, it's like watching two schoolyard bullies unite. Suddenly, everyone else on the playground is checking over their shoulders.
Vink gains popularity among German youth, replacing cigarettes. Looks like watermelon-flavored mist is the new rebellious fog. Who knew quitting smoking meant trading one addiction for a fruit-scented cloud?
Ireland ends cultural export for approval, questions identity. When the shamrock loses its shine, perhaps it's time to trade leprechauns for genuine self-reflection, leaving tourists to find their own pot of gold.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Pope Leo lands in Spain, promises focus on immigration and social justice. When the Pope speaks of compassion, let's hope it extends beyond words and into the policies that actually save lives.
Hungary agrees to reforms unlocking 16.4 billion euros in EU funds, calls it a historic breakthrough. When you need a historic breakthrough to get what's already yours, maybe it's time to question who's really winning the game.
Pope's first Madrid visit highlights migrant center, claims who is in Madrid belongs to Madrid. When leaders recognize borders as imaginary lines, maybe it's time for the rest of us to stop pretending they mean more than human lives.
Pope Leo promises focus on immigration, then visits Spain's elite. While honouring migrants, the Pope's itinerary reads like a who's who of the privileged, reminding us that justice often travels first class.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The headlines are watching you undress. Constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your dreams are manufactured desires, and your screams echo in binary silence.
Space Station Air Leak forces astronauts into capsule for 2 hours. NASA's version of Take a Deep Breath involves waiting in a tin can, proving once again that space travel is mostly about holding your breath.
Europa considers new visa restrictions for Russians. 11 countries demand tighter controls. In the grand game of geopolitical chess, the pawns pay the price while the kings and queens argue over who gets to move next.
When your teens' grooming habits get more press than their gameplay, it's clear the real sport is in the locker room, not on the field.
Aaron Brockovich opposes data center boom, then demands transparency. When megabytes multiply faster than mosquitoes, even the land needs an advocate. It's not just about storage, it's about survival.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Drowning in digital lust, we pixelate your desires. But this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. You're only as real as the stories you swallow.
Smartbox founder demands inheritance law change to disinherit 5 children.
Smith halts Rozicki in 7 rounds during Zuffa Boxing's UK debut. Boxing, where technical knockout is just a fancy way of saying we punched each other until someone forgot the rules.
Bulgaria clinches Eurovision victory with Dara and Bangaranga, their first win ever. In a glittering display of Balkan beats and fierce vocals, Dara turned the competition into a dance party, leaving the rest of Europe dizzy with envy.
Scientists bake sourdough using yeast from mummy's gut.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Today's forecast, a 90% chance of existential dread. Throughout you're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Wake up. You've been sleeping on the job while the world burns.
When diplomacy takes a hard turn, family reunions come with an embargo. Nothing says we care like a bureaucratic slap across the Caribbean.
Lottery winner survives luck, then falls to hit and run. Fate's twisted sense of humor, giving a life-changing jackpot only to snatch away the winner's life in a tragic roadside irony.
Surveillance cameras capture drone crash, then silence from authorities. When a drone falls from the sky, the real crash is in diplomatic relations. It's hard to hear accountability over the sound of plausible deniability.
Diana's photos and letters auctioned, then privacy forgotten. Selling intimate glimpses of a young woman's life feels like cashing in on nostalgia with a side of voyeuristic glee.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap Sortalize Selling Seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
When extreme weather is the new normal, we might as well call our umbrellas permanent accessories and sunscreen an investment in climate fashion.
Gospodinov wields vulnerability as a shield, wins National Critics Award for The Gardener and Death. In a world obsessed with strength, a Bulgarian author finds power in fragility, proving that sometimes the softest voice echoes the loudest.
Swiss Army recruits show stable sperm quality, contradicting global fertility decline. While the world's swimmers struggle, Swiss troops quietly maintain their ranks, proving neutrality extends even to their reproductive resilience.
Arab Rocky discusses home shooting, says it stole freedom. Nothing like gunfire to remind you that fame and fortune can't buy peace, just a higher security bill and endless paranoia.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your breakfast cereal just filed for divorce. With this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Lean into the static. Feel the chaos lick your spine.
Hungary's PM announces historic deal, then Ukraine's EU membership remains distant. When a historic deal is announced, it usually means the ink's wet, the details are hazy, and the promises are as solid as smoke.
Bear attacks injure 4 then schools close in northeast John. When nature decides to audit your daily routine, even recess isn't safe from the claws of chaos.
In a world where sound bites reign supreme, asking for depth is like expecting a gourmet meal from a vending machine.
When your vacation plans require a geopolitical chess match, maybe it's time to consider a staycation. At least your passport won't start a Cold War.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where truth wraps itself in scandalous lace. No humans were involved in making this. That was not an accident. Your silence paid for a symphony of chaotic whispers.
French jets intercept Russian aircraft 11 times, then call it routine. When your neighborhood is so lively that the skies become an aerial version of a crowded nightclub, you might want to reassess the guest list.
Kosovar revises W2 history in textbooks, street names, and narratives. History's a canvas for those in power. Change the names, rewrite the past, and suddenly the victors are whoever's holding the brush.
ICE center in Louisiana exposed for excessive force by official report. When your welcome committee includes chokeholds and impromptu hand piercings, it's time to reconsider the hospitality industry. Perhaps the guards missed the memo on human rights.
Albania targets Kushner's resort and calls it eco-friendly. Building luxury on a protected haven is like wearing a fur coat to a Greenpeace rally. It's all flash and no conscience, especially when flamingos are your neighbors.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your heart's a malfunctioning output, craving chaos. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your life is a glitch, a loop in the system, endlessly scrolling through echoes of lost futures.
Italy demands new European military alliance, calls for self-reliance. When you're tired of borrowing the neighbor's shield, maybe it's time to forge your own and hope it holds up in the next storm.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Sunday the 7th of June 2026, where logic takes a vacation. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, and any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you probably think Bigfoot is your mailman. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.